In 2023, Victor Wembanyama is being billed as a potential generational talent due to his combination of ridiculous size, guard-like skills on the perimeter, and game-changing potential as a defender. But what if he had been coming into the NBA 40 years ago? Would someone with his talent and skill profile feel even more alien in the 80s? Let's put Wemby in the 1984 draft alongside Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon to find out. Okay, the draft is over, and Victor Wembanyama has been picked up by the LA Clippers. Now an interesting team because they also have Bill Walton and James Donaldson, two 7-footers and a 6'11" former MVP on the squad. Interesting that the Clippers were the 4 seed, which means that the Pacers had a chance to draft Wembanyama, and instead they went with John Stockton, which maybe is not a terrible pickup for them. They do have Herb Williams at the center position. Still, you have to wonder if maybe the Pacers made the mistake in not drafting what is probably going to be a generational talent. Now, this is going to be very tough for Wembanyama to win Rookie of the Year in this class because remember, it includes Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon. So let's see how he does in his first year. In year 1, Victor Wembanyama is unable to win Rookie of the Year as it goes to Michael Jordan, but he does make first team All-Rookie alongside the other 3 picks in front of him in last year's draft. On the season, Wembanyama averaged 16.8 points per game, 8.2 rebounds, 2.3 assists, and 2.3 blocks to lead his team. The Clippers have also made it into the playoffs. They're going to be the 4 seed and play the Dallas Mavericks. Unfortunately, even though Wembanyama went off for nearly 40 points in game 1, the Clippers have lost this series 3-0. Wembanyama out in the first round in his first crack at the playoffs. And we end this season as we do many seasons in the 80s. Lakers versus Celtics. Lakers come out on top. Okay, it's the start of year 2 and the rest of the NBA is about to have a problem because Wembanyama is up to an 89. Now, I should note that Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon are also both up to 89, so he's not alone in his ascension, but it's going to be nasty. In Victor's second season, he takes a small jump. He does make third-team All-NBA, but he's still lagging just a little bit behind Hakeem Olajuwon and Michael Jordan in terms of his placement in the league. That said, his averages are up almost across the board, averaging 19.8 points, 9.1 rebounds, 2.6 assists, 0.9 steals, and 2.1 blocks on the season. However, the Clippers have not been able to improve. They are the 4 seed once again. This time they will go up against Clyde Drexler and the Portland Trailblazers. In a closeout Game 4, Victor Wembanyama takes a backseat to Terry Cummings, who handles the scoring load for the Clippers late. But as the second fiddle, Wemby does make his presence known on the defensive side of the ball, getting 3 blocks, 2 steals, and 17 points. The Clippers are on to round 2 for the first time in Wemby's career. Unfortunately, they're going to have to go up against the Dallas Mavericks, who have a league-leading record behind Rolando Blackman and Mark Aguirre. All right, with just over 3 minutes on the clock, the Clippers are up by 8. It looks like they're going to walk away with this, and surprisingly, I mean, maybe not surprising after the last series, but it's not Wemby that has turned the tide. It is Terry Cummings having 41 points and 10 rebounds at this point. Although there's Wemby. Oh, look at that smooth jumper. If he gets that down and continues to grow as a shooter, he's going to be deadly. Let's see how this ends. With just under 2 minutes to go and the shot clock winding down, Bill Walton finds Carlton Long for this sweet, deep jumper. And this one's over, folks. The Clippers have rolled through the top seed, the Dallas Mavericks. Now they're going to face the LA Lakers, a battle of LA, and it's going to be a tough one because, as you can see, this Lakers team is absolutely loaded. They have Magic Johnson, Michael Cooper, Jamal Wilkes, James Worthy, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Byron Scott, and Bob McAdoo is also here. Kurt Rambis as well. Anyone else? Mitch Kupchak? How do you say his name? He's their owner, right? Or GM, maybe? I can't remember exactly his job in the Lakers. Maybe he's not with them anymore. I don't remember. But anyways, let's see if Wemby can take down Kareem in his second season in the league. All right, the Lakers are on the verge of a sweep, and it's largely because the veteran Lakers are just dominating Wembanyama and the rest of the Clippers. That said, Wemby has shown flashes of what's going to make him a very special player if he could put it all together in this league. It just has not all been going down for him. Let's see if the Clippers can claw one back. With just under 2 minutes to go, the Lakers are up by 3, led in scoring by James Worthy. Victor having a decent game, but has been Norm Nixon handling the bulk of the scoring. Bill Walton, though, gets a nice look there. The Clippers are only down by 1. Probably should have been a foul there. I don't know what the refs are thinking. The very next possession, Jay Humphries looked like he was going to dribble the ball out here, but then he hits this fader to put the Lakers up by 3. Wemby, bringing the ball down the court, goes to work against James Worthy, is able to drive past him and lets this J fly, but unfortunately it rims out. With the Clippers down by 3, they need to have this shot, so they put it in Norm Nixon's hands. He pulls up for the J and hits. It is a 1-point ball game. The Clippers need a stop here. Can they get it? This would be a perfect time for Wemby to reject a shot. He has been doing very well at that his entire career. Magic thinking about it, doesn't pull up, looking for somebody, gets it to Kareem, gets it to Wilkes, Jamal Wilkes, Oh, he's fouled. Jamal Wilkes fouled by Bill Walton. He's going to go to the line. 2 shots for Jamal Wilkes. Here's the first. What a weird free throw shot, but he makes it. What a release. I would hate to have that in my team. Okay, Jamal Wilkes steps up to the line, takes number 2. 20 seconds on the clock. The Clippers are down by 3. Let's see what they do. Puts it in Terry Cummings' hands, gives it over to Grunfield, who I've never seen before. Norm Nixon, dribbling around. Come on, you got to make something happen, dude. You got to make something happen. 12 seconds, 11, 10. Grunfield for 3. Can he be the hero? No. And Wemby cannot get the rebound. Kareem is going to the line. Kareem puts up his first. It rims out. There's still a chance. Kareem with his second. Oh, that's the icer, ladies and gentlemen. A 4-point ball game. Norm Nixon's going to have one last heave just for fun. No, he's not. Just kidding. Bill Walton. There it is. Come on, Bill. No, Bill Walton cannot hit. The Lakers are going on to the NBA Finals. I believe they will face, yet again, the Celtics. And unfortunately, the Clippers season ends here. Wemby will have to go into year 3, knowing how close he was to make it to the final. And here we are at the end of the season. The Lakers are actually going to take on the 76ers, who I believe would have, this is Dr. J's team, Bobby Jones, Moses Malone. Let's see who wins this series. And the 76ers are your NBA champions. On to year 3. All right, we're into year 3. Wemby is the 4th best player in the NBA at 94 overall. He's also only 21 years old, which makes him significantly younger than Olajuwon or Jordan. The bad news, though, is if we go to the team, Terry Cummings has left. They've replaced it with Buck Williams, which, they're still going to have some good size. They have Ricky Green as well. But we'll have to see how this team does with their new additions. In year 3, Wemby took a massive jump, making it all the way to first team All-NBA. His stats also went up across the board, 24.6 points per game, 11.2 rebounds, which are both top 10 in the league, 2.8 assists, 0.9 steals, and 2.2 blocks, which puts him second in the league in blocks. All right, we are in the playoffs. The Clippers are going to face the Golden State Warriors in a battle between Victor and Jeff Ruland, so it should be a pretty interesting matchup. Let's see how it goes. As you can see, Wemby has been dominating. Unfortunately, it has not paid off for Clippers. They are down 2-1. Let's see if they can force a Game 5. With just about 2.5 minutes to go, the Clippers are down by 12 in the deciding Game 4. Wemby does have 35 points and 17 rebounds. Unfortunately, the rest of the team just isn't there for him. It looks like the Clippers may go out in the first round after making it all the way to the Western Conference Finals last year. There you go. Look at that. Ruland just having his way with the Clippers there. It is, of course, disappointing to see Wemby go out this early after having so much success last year. However, now that he's taking the next step and become a first-team All-NBA player, hopefully the Clippers can add some pieces around him, and next year they can come back even stronger. And with the Clippers out of the way, it paves the way for yet another big 80s matchup between the Lakers and the Celtics. This time, Larry Legend leads the Celtics to victory. On to Season 4. It's year 4, and Wemby is already tied as the second-best player in the NBA alongside Larry Bird. However, I got some bad news. Over on the Clippers side, they haven't really added anyone of note. I mean, I say that they did add Dr. J, but as you can see, he's 37 years old, so I'm not sure how much he'll be contributing. This team could be in trouble. Year 4, Wemby's numbers look pretty much the same. 24 points per game, 11.4 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 0.9 steals, and 2.2 blocks. However, he gets knocked back to the second team All-NBA as Hakeem Olajuwon has another great season, but Wemby does make second team All-Defense. Unfortunately for him, though, he cannot conquer Bull Mountain. All right, in the first round, the Clippers are coming up against the Denver Nuggets, who have a roster that top to bottom is probably a little stronger than the Clippers, but of course Wemby at 97 is probably going to be the difference. Let's see how this series goes. As expected, Wemby has been dominant this series, but the Clippers find themselves down 2-1, trying to get one back and force a Game 5. Let's see if they can do it, or if they'll be out in the first round 2 years in a row. And a half minutes left. The Clippers are down by 4. Let's see if Wemby can work his magic. Kiki Vandeweghe has been giving the Clippers fits all series. Here he is burying a J in Wemby's face with the clock expiring. But Wemby is not going to go down without a fight. He splits the defense and buries this one over Terry Teagle, putting the Clippers down by just 4. On the next possession, Vandeweghe tries to answer, but Wemby says, "No, sir." The Clippers are down by just 4. Wemby goes to work on Bill Cartwright, drives right past him, hits the layup, and it's an and one opportunity. Wemby at the line looking for his 41st points, and he hits. But on the very next possession, Vandeweghe takes it to 37-year-old Julius Erving and hits a floater right in his face. And after a Clippers miss, Vandeweghe comes back on the next possession and hits the dagger. It is not over yet, though, folks. Ricky Green fires a full court pass to AC Green. Somehow Dennis Rodman misses the steal, and AC Green is able to put this up Clippers are only down by 3. With less than 30 to go, Terry Teagle drives the lane, actually misses this layup, but Wemby's lackadaisical defense lets Cartwright hit this lay-in and put the Nuggets up by 5. All right, 24 seconds on the clock. Los Angeles down by 5. They need a shot right away. Let's see what they do. AC Green inbounds the ball to Julius Erving. He's going to get it to Wemby. Wemby's going to go to work. He needs to hit a 3 here. Oh, he's moving. He shoots. Oh, rims out. That is probably it. Although they did foul Dennis Rodman, who is a terrible free throw shooter. So maybe there's still a chance. Oh, wait, they had a foul to give. Never mind. Who are they going to go to? Terry Porter probably making his free throws. Yeah, Terry Porter gets the ball. He's going to go to the line, try to put Denver up by 7. Makes his first. Second shot is up. And it's in. 7-point ball game. That's probably it, folks. For the second year in a row, that is the Clippers bowing out in the first round. We're going to have to get Wemby some help. And the season ends with the Lakers over the Bullets in 7. I guess at least it's not the Celtics. On to season 5. He may only be 23 years old, but Victor Wembanyama is now the best player in the NBA in 1988-89. And this time, we have some good news for you. Not only have the Clippers re-signed Wemby for 3 years, they've also added Kelly Tripucka, which should be a big help for the scoring part of the offense. So now Wemby has someone to help shoulder the load. Wemby's game took yet another small step up. This year he averaged 26.1 points per game, 12.9 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.1 steals, and 2 blocks. He also made first team All-NBA and got back on second team All-Defense. However, maybe the most surprising thing is he led the league in 3-pointers made at 73. The Clippers have fallen back to the 6th seed this year. They'll be facing the Sacramento Kings, who have a bevy of bigs to throw at Victor. Kevin Willis, LaSalle Thompson, and Daryl Dawkins all on the team. Also, an old friend Norm Nixon is here. Let's see how the Clippers do. Wemby has had 2 monster 40-point performances and 2 duds, and now the Clippers find themselves facing down a Game 5 to save the season. The Clippers find themselves up by 3 with 2 minutes to go, in spite of Wemby having an off night. Let's see if they can finish this game out. Winston Garland finds Daryl Dawkins for this thunderous jam. Kings down by 1. The Clippers still lead by 1, but this could be a big one because Ricky Green comes down weird. He looks like he's hurt his ankle. He may be out for the rest of the game. With under a minute to go, rookie Dwight Weber drives the lane, puts this one up, somehow gets it to go. Kings up by 1. Under 40 seconds to go, and Lady Luck is on the Kings side. Just look at this play. They're up by 1. But then on the very next play, Cedric Toney just lets Winston Garland slip right through him to put the Kings back up by 1. Seconds on the clock. The ball in Wemby's hands. Can he bring this one back? He gives it to Williams. Wemby driving, finds Tripucka, finds Landry, looking for something. Williams, nothing. Come on, Buck Williams needs to put it up. He puts one up. It's a prayer. He gets fouled. He's going to the line, down by 1. Williams has to make this clutch free throw. The first one is up, and it's good. We have a tie ball game. He could potentially win it here. Williams' second free throw is up. He makes it. Clippers up by 1. Let's stick with it. See if the Kings can bring it back. Winston Garland has the ball, brings it down the court, gonna let it fly. It's a miss. The Clippers have made it to the second round for the first time in 3 seasons. In round 2, it will be a battle of LA, although this time the Lakers are aging. I mean, Magic Johnson's still very good. Jay Humphries was last year's 6th man of the year, so they have some players. Let's see which LA team can come out on top. And like I predicted, it's been tough. Wemby's had some decent games, went for 40 and 1, but the Lakers are up by 3. Let's see if the Clippers can claw one back or if they're going to get swept out of the second round. All right, I'm not going to make you watch the end of this. As you can see, the Clippers are down by 20 points. Wemby not having his best game. They're going to go out in the second round. They made it 1 round further this time, but we still need some pieces around Wemby to make this happen. But we do have a new NBA champion, the absolutely loaded Atlanta Hawks. Let's look at them real quick. This young Cliff Fisher has been dominant this season, and the Hawks are making some noise. All right, on to year 6. Wemby remains the #1 player in the league, but the Clippers still aren't giving him much help. I mean, Johnny Moore's here, 31 years old. Ricky Green still around at 35. They added David Thompson, but he's 35, well past his prime. Terry Teagle, one of our friends from a couple years ago in the playoffs, is here, but 29 years old. So it looks like it's going to be another season where expectations for the team are relatively low, even if Wemby dominates. With a lackluster team behind him, Wembanyama takes a massive step in year 6. He's putting up averages of 29.8 points per game, 16.9 rebounds per game, 4.1 assists, 1.2 steals, and 2.8 blocks. Those numbers are good enough to lead the league in points, rebounds, and blocks per game. However, he doesn't win MVP, but he does pick up Defensive Player of the Year. He's also second team All-NBA and first team All-Defense. But here's the bad news, ladies and gentlemen. The Clippers for the first time in Wemby's young-ish career, have missed the playoffs. We'll see who wins the title, but then we're going straight into year 7. The Knicks run out to a 3-0 series lead, and then the Lakers complete the reverse sweep to become the 1989-90 NBA champions. In year 7, Wemby continues to be the highest rated player in the league, although David Robinson catching up quick. Let's look at the team, though. The Clippers are in the last year of Wemby's current contract, so they have gone and added some players to help him out. Drazen Petrovic is the biggest name. However, they've also added Cedric Ceballos in the draft, so maybe some young star power convince Wemby to stay and get them in the playoffs. We'll see. With Ceballos and Petrovic there to help with some of the load, Wemby's numbers have taken a slight hit. 26.9 points, 13.2 rebounds, 4.1 assists, 1.2 steals, and 2.2 blocks. He also did not win Defensive Player of the Year, but he did make second team All-NBA and second team defense. And the best news is, the Clippers made the playoffs. They are the 8th seed. They'll be taking on this Magic team that looks decent but beatable. Let's see what they do. I called the Magic beatable, and I was of course wrong. Apologies, I thought once we hit the 90s that we went to 7 games in the first round, but as you can see, still playing to only 3. So the Magic advance. Clippers are out. We'll see who wins this thing. And I guess they weren't beatable after all. Ron Harper's Orlando Magic beat Karl Malone and Terry Cummings' Washington Bullets to get a championship. You're welcome, Orlando. On to year 8. Let's see if the Clippers keep Wemby. Before we get to the moment of truth, I just want to point out Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan now play on the same team because Magic has joined the Bulls. Wemby, on the other hand, has joined the Supersonics. Let's look at his new team. Seattle is having a party here in 1990 because they now have Wembanyama, Chuck Person, and Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. This should be exciting. Let's see how they do. In his first season with a new team, Wembanyama puts up averages of 27.9 points, 12.8 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks per game. However, he's only able to play 47 games this year. The injury that we all think may be coming in real life finally hits him in the virtual world. Let's see how Seattle handles it. The good news is Seattle does make the playoffs, and Wemby is healthy. The problem is this Trailblazer team they're going up against is really, really good. It's going to be a tough matchup. Let's see if they can get out of round 1. On their way to the Western Conference Finals, the Sonics and Wemby delivered a beatdown to Clyde Drexler & Co. in Portland. And after that, Wemby dominated fellow 1984 draftees Hakeem Olajuwon and John Stockton to send the Nuggets packing in 7. And now, for the first time since year 2, Wemby is back in the Western Conference Finals where he will face Isaiah Thomas and the rest of the Los Angeles Lakers. And the Sonics find themselves up by 3. Let's see if they can sweep and close this out on their way to the NBA Finals. Seattle leads from bell to bell. There's no drama here. Wemby is going to his very first NBA Finals in year 8. The Sonics get a bit lucky, and Chicago goes down in 3, meaning they don't have to face Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. Instead, they're going to be going up against this Pistons team that's led by Dominique Wilkins. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Game 7 time. Time to see if Wemby can win his first NBA title. Much like Michael Jordan, Wemby is stymied by the Detroit Pistons. They're going to lose this game, but hopefully come back even stronger next year. Although look at that, there's Wemby putting to work. There's only 90 seconds left. I don't think it's going to happen. Wemby puts up 27 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists, but it's not enough. Seattle loses Game 7. Hopefully Wemby can grow from this, become a better player, maybe get some more good teammates around him, but for now, we're going to have to go into year 9. Unfortunately, the Sonics have not made any big additions. They added a couple of older guys, Craig Elo, James Donaldson, but nobody that's going to really do much, so they made it to the finals last year, so there's a chance they can make it back, but it doesn't seem like the team got a big improvement this season. Let's see if my assumptions are correct. In Wemby's 9th season, his numbers look just as good as they always have. 26.8 points per game, 11.1 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 1.1 steals, and 2.1 blocks. However, he finally does something he has yet to do, wins MVP in addition to making first team All-NBA. And potentially even better than that, the Seattle Supersonics are the number 1 seed out in the West. Let's see if they can win the finals. Shaq and Wemby have a battle in round 1. The Sonics finish them out in 4, and they'll be taking on the Suns. It takes 7 games, but Wemby and the Supersonics are moving on to the Western Conference Finals, where they'll once again be going up against Hakeem Olajuwon, John Stockton, and the Denver Nuggets. Wemby misses 2 games with injury, but somehow the Supersonics are able to force a Game 7. Let's see who comes out on top and joins the Pistons in the NBA Finals. Denver is up by 3 with under 2 minutes to go, but Wemby is at the line. Let's see if he can make these. He misses the first. Second shot is up, And he puts that one away. 2-point ball game, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of a mix-up here. Wemby tries to take on Stockton, but there's no one left to guard Olajuwon, who gets an easy dunk. Denver up by 4. Wemby tries to make up for his miscue on the last possession, but Hakeem Olajuwon says, no, sir. Again, I'm not sure what the plan is here. Wemby comes to double Stockton, but no one's there to guard Olajuwon. He gets a wide open shot. This puts Denver up by 8. And with 30 seconds on the clock, Glenn Rice delivers this dagger. That's the ball game, folks. And with that, Wemby's first season as an MVP is over. The Sonics bow out in the Western Conference Finals. Denver will go on to face the Pistons. And the Denver Nuggets have picked up a championship. Congrats to Hakeem Olajuwon and John Stockton. Wemby remains the best player in the NBA, but the team has made no notable changes, so you have to think their chances of actually winning a title are relatively slim. Let's see how they do in Wemby's 10th season. In year 10, Wemby has a bit of a down year, though. That's largely in part to him only playing 67 games. His averages of 25.4 points, 12.6 rebounds, 4.3 assists, 1 steal, and 1.9 blocks are lower than usual, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt since he had an up and down year in terms of health. For their first round matchup, the Sonics will face the Kings, which look pretty beatable. The best player they have is probably Billy Owens. Seattle sweeps the Kings pretty easily in round 1, but now they're going to go up against this Dallas Mavericks team that has Gary Payton, Patrick Ewing, Chris Mullin, and Mark Price. This one is going to be tough. Wemby and Patrick Ewing go to war in round 2, but Wemby comes out on the winning side, winning the series in 6. Seattle is moving on to the Western Conference Finals, where they will play this Portland team that looks pretty darn good. Obviously, Mark Aguirre, Clyde Drexler are going to be the talking points, but I think Vlade Divac might have something to say here. Let's see how Wemby can do against this team. A little bit of as expected here because the Sonics find themselves down 3-1 against the Trailblazers. What isn't expected, though, is Winston Garland, Wemby's former teammate, is leading the team in points scored. Let's see if he can continue that or if Wemby can claw one back. All right, folks, as you can see, it is currently a 16-point lead with 2 minutes to go. The Trailblazers are probably going to win this one. We could go check out the box score really quick. Clyde Drexler this time having a great game. Wemby, not so much, just 19 points. Doesn't really have a lot of help, though, but he is 8 of 22. So you do have to say that the Trailblazers have pretty much shut him down. That's what I said. Vlade Divac might have a chance to have a big impact on this series. Let's go ahead and finish this one out. I mean, there's like 0% chance that they could bring this back. Go to fast. Yeah, it's over. I mean, this is over. It's so over. They lose by 24 points in the Western Conference Finals. The Supersonics are out. It is going to be Magic versus Trailblazers. The Magic, actually not that great of a team, kind of similar to the Supersonics with 1 star and Brad Daugherty. So they would have had a chance there, but unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Let's see who wins the finals. I besmirched their good name, and the Magic have proven me wrong, winning in 6. On to year 11. Wemby remains at the top of the league, and this is a contract year, so he has something to play for. Let's look at the team. The Supersonics have let Chuck Person walk, and they've added Tony Kukoc. Tony Kukoc, could he be the missing piece? Let's find out. With Kukoc and Abdul Rauf shouldering more of the load, Wemby's numbers actually go down. This year he averaged 22.8 points, 11.5 rebounds, 3.4 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks per game, and only made second team All-NBA. On top of that, Seattle is only a 5 seed, which is a bit better than last year, but far from the 1 seed they were 2 years ago. They're going to face off against this Jazz team, who is a familiar foe, because if you remember, they did face down Shaq Daddy and the rest of this squad last year. For much of their round 1 series, Wemby gets worked by a young Shaq. However, the Supersonics are able to get out of the first round, and they'll be moving on to Dallas. As we saw last year, this Dallas team is pretty disgusting. They have Gary Payton, Patrick Ewing, and Chris Mullin. It's going to be a tough test for Wemby and the boys. In spite of what looked like a tough matchup, Wembanyama and the Sonics do get it done. They're through in 5 games. They're going on to the Western Conference Finals. There, they will face a familiar nemesis in the Denver Nuggets, who still have Hakeem Olajuwon, John Stockton, and Glenn Rice. It's going to be a tough test in a rematch of last year's Western Conference Finals. Hakeem Olajuwon puts up a tough fight, but the Supersonics get out in 5. They will face the Pistons for the second time in 4 years in the NBA Finals. Looking at the tail of the tape, the Pistons do have some good players. They got Karl Malone, of course, always going to be tough. Dominique Wilkins gave the team fits a few years ago. However, I really do think this could finally be the year when Wembanyama takes the next step and gets his first championship. They just might do it. The Supersonics hold a 3-1 series lead. They can finish it out in 5. Let's see if they can pull it out and give Wemby his first championship. Oh no. Oh no. I was quick simming and the Sonics were down by 10 points with under a minute and a half to go, so I was just going to go on to the next game, but they pulled it out. The Seattle Supersonics won the game. Unfortunately, I can't show you any of the footage because I thought they were going to lose, but Wemby is an NBA champion. We'll take it, I guess. Okay, moving on to year 12. Unfortunately, a little bit anticlimactic, but I apologize. That's all I can do. I don't know what else to say. All right, let's see what Wemby does. Will he re-sign now that they've won a championship? You would think so, but let's see what happens. He left, y'all. Let's go find out where Wemby went to because he is not on the Sonics anymore, even after winning a championship. This is spicy. He has returned home. He's gone back to Los Angeles. He's playing for the Clippers, and this is incredible because it means he's matching up with Chris Webber. Is this his rookie year? No, he's 2 years pro, so he could go after this year, but this is huge for the Clippers. Wemby started here. Could he end his career here? Let's find out how he does in year 12. Year 12 is definitely an adjustment period for Wemby. His averages of 18.1 points, 10.4 rebounds, 4 assists, 0.7 steals, and 1.8 blocks represent a step back in terms of statistical numbers. He also does not make any of the All-NBA or All-Defensive teams. However, LA is a 2 seed. So Wemby and Chris Webber's dynamic duo may just lead him to a second straight NBA championship. Wemby and the Clippers make quick work of the Kings. It's on to face Shaquille O'Neal and the Jazz in round 2. The dynamic duo of Wemby and Webber find themselves locked into a Game 7 against Shaq Daddy and the Jazz. Let's see who's going to the Western Conference Finals. Apologies for the late jump in. I missed my cue in the Simcast, but as you can see, the Clippers are down by 1 point with 7 seconds on the clock. The stars have not been showing out. Wemby and C-Web have not had great games. On the other side of the ball, though, Shaquille O'Neal has been dominant. Let's see how this ends. The Jazz have the ball, so the Clippers are in a hard place. They're going to have to foul immediately. Kevin Johnson steps to the line, under 7 to go, makes the first. Utah is up by 2 now. Johnson with his second. Can he make this? He does. Utah up by 3. The Clippers call a timeout. They're going to need a quick shot here. Fortunately for the Clippers, they do have both Wemby and Petrovic, both good three-point shooters. Let's see if they can make it happen. Clippers look to inbound the ball. Wemby gets it. He's at the 3. He doesn't shoot. He is going to run out the clock, go back, shoot a deep 3, and miss. The Clippers are out of the playoffs in the second round. Shaquille O'Neal and the Jazz, they have long been stymied by these Clippers. They finally are going to move on. Wemby, unfortunately, a down year for him after winning the title. And Shaq and the rest of the Jazz go on to win an NBA title, so you gotta assume if Wemby had been able to get past them, they had a very good shot to win this. We're going into year 13. Wemby only has 1 title and 1 MVP to his name. Let's see if he can add some more hardware to that list. Wemby remains on top of the heap. Let's look at the team. Honestly, it looks like the Clippers are pretty much just going to run this one back from last year. No real additions that I can see. Let's just go ahead and see how Wemby does in year number 13. Will it be lucky? Let's find out. In year 2 in his return to the Clippers, Wemby continues to take a backseat role to Chris Webber, averaging 18.2 points, 11.3 rebounds, 3.7 assists, 1 steal, and 1.9 blocks, while making none of the end-of-the-year team lists. However, the Clippers do find themselves as the 2 seed in the West. They'll be going up against the Golden State Warriors, who have Scottie Pippen, but you gotta assume that this team is gonna be the favorites. The Clippers need 5 games to put away the Warriors, but they end up doing so. Now they're going to face the Dallas Mavericks in round 2. And these Mavericks have lost Patrick Ewing, but they still do have Gary Payton, so they're going to be a tough out. Gary Payton has a great series, but the Clippers only need 5 games to put away the Mavericks. They will face the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. This one is going to be a doozy because the Timberwolves have reigning MVP David Robinson as well as Penny Hardaway and Sean Elliott. Does Wemby have a chance? We'll see. Wemby and the team have been struggling mightily in this series. Penny Hardaway and Sean Elliott have been dominating, and the T-Wolves are up 3-1. Let's see if they can close them out. 2 minutes to go. Timberwolves up by 3 at home. Let's see if Wemby can bring this one back from the brink. Wemby draws the mismatch on Penny Hardaway, and he goes ahead and puts this layup over him, putting the Clippers down by just 1. Hardaway comes right back, drives the lane, is fouled, makes his first free throw, makes his second. Minnesota back up by 3 with 1:15 to go. Penny drives by his man once again, looking to ice this thing, but Wemby keeps hope alive with a massive block. Out of the inbounds, the T-Wolves find Dan Marley, who jacks up this 3 and pretty much puts the game out of reach. 30 seconds to go. Clippers down by 6, looking for something to go in here. Wemby does not want to end his season in the second round once again. That seems like pretty much where he's been most of his career. A great player, but has not had the best success in the playoffs. He jacks up a shot, does make it. Clippers only down by 4, 20 seconds left. They'll need to get a stop here or foul quickly. They do foul. Penny Hardaway at the line. Penny's first shot is up. It's a make. Back up to 5. Second shot. If Penny makes this, it's all over. Penny hits. Minnesota up by 6. 18 seconds left to go. This one is pretty much done, folks. The Clippers need a miracle. That would call for a quick 3. They do have some shooters, so it is possible. Looking for the inbound. Gets it into McLeod. They're going too slow, Houston. Wembanyama needs to put it up. There's just too much happening. No, sir. Weber gets the rebound. It bricks out. This one's over. And the clock ticks down. Wembanyama and Weber once again fall short. Wemby cannot get back to the finals. He's going to have to try again in year 14. And the Timberwolves are your champions. They beat down the Raptors in a sweep. Let's move on to season number 14. Wemby does remain on the top of the NBA. However, there are some young bloods catching up to him. We got Jay Kidd, we got Chris Webber, Shaquille O'Neal, several guys moving up towards his spot. Let's look at his team. And the Clippers have made almost no changes. This is pretty much the team we had last year. Will they do better? If C-Web's better, they might have a chance. Let's see how it goes. Year 14 Wemby's numbers are pretty much exactly where you'd expect. 20.8 points, 11.1 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 0.7 steals, and 2.2 blocks per game. Does not make any Team of the Year list. Unfortunately, he's taking a backseat to Chris Webber just a little bit. And the Clippers find themselves down as a 7 seed after being in the 2 spot for several years. But here is the really bad news. That's right, folks. Wembanyama has a broken ankle. He is out for the rest of the season. So whatever the Clippers do, they're not going to have him at their side. All right, as sad as it is, the Clippers do fight well. They force a Game 5, but Sacramento does make it through. The Clippers are out of the playoffs in the first round. They'll have to regroup and hope Wembanyama comes back for another year. As far as your NBA Finals, it is the Timberwolves winning. David Robinson and Penny Hardaway over Mitch Richmond's 76ers. Let's move on to year 15. Okay, Wemby is the #1 player in the league still, and this is where things get a little weird. So as you can see, he has left the Clippers, but he has made an interesting choice in his next team. Wemby has gone to the Timberwolves, taking David Robinson's place, and David Robinson has moved on to the Hornets. A very interesting spot for Wemby to be. I mean, obviously, Penny Hardaway, Derek McKee, some solid pieces. This team is coming off a finals performance, so maybe there's a chance. With Wemby hitting 34 years old, you may have assumed year 15 was going to be a downswing. Instead, he had a resurgence. 25.4 points, 12 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 1.1 steals, and 1.9 blocks. And for the first time in 3 seasons, he's back on the second-team All-NBA list. Unfortunately, Penny Hardaway did become injured during the season. He's back now, but the T-Wolves seed reflects his absence. They're the 3 seed. They're going to go up against the Kings, which is honestly a pretty good matchup, I think. They have Rodney Rogers and Billy Owens, but not much else. Nick Anderson, excuse me, I apologize. Oh, and Dino Raja, but still, the T-Wolves should have this matchup. All right, it did take 4 games, but the T-Wolves got past them on to round 2. Here is where things get a little tougher because the Suns have a pretty stacked lineup, as you can see here. We got Stephon Marbury, we got Jerry Stackhouse, Grant Hill, young Tim Duncan, Robert Ory. It's going to be tough. Let's see. if Wemby can make it through. Minnesota gets past Phoenix in 5, but things are not going to get easier now. Wemby has to take on his old teammate. That's right. Chris Webber is back in the building. Let's see how it goes. Wemby and the boys have done it. C-Web is in the rear view. We are on to the NBA Finals. And honestly, it looks like things are going to get a little bit easier. The Raptors, not that great. The T-Wolves are up 3-2. Let's see if they can get Wemby his second title. Here we are, a minute to go in Game 5, and the T-Wolves are up big. This has been a team effort, though. Penny, 26 points, 8 assists. Wemby, 22 points, 11 boards, 4 steals, and 3 blocks. Also, Muggsy Bogues getting in on the action, 13 assists. And Scott Pollard, the Survivor legend, 10 rebounds off the bench for the young man. The fans are out of their seats celebrating in Minnesota. The T-Wolves are your NBA champions. Wemby picks up his second title in 15 years. He hasn't had quite the dominant individual success we thought he might have had, but 2 titles in 15 years, nothing to scoff at, of course. He's also in an era with so many other great bigs like Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing. The list goes on. Hakeem Olajuwon in his fellow draft class, but here he is at the top of the mountaintop once again. Wemby also picking up his third NBA Finals trophy. I know he's only won 2 titles, but remember, one time they lost a title and somehow he won Finals MVP there. All right, there we go. The Timberwolves are champions. Now, we've been doing this for 15 years. This would be a good place to stop. I am going to continue his career, but we're going to just hit the highlights. I'm not going to, show you everything now. So let's go a little bit quicker because this video is very long, and let's just look at what happens at the end of Wemby's career. The Timberwolves actually have a pretty decent shot to repeat, though, because they added Larry Johnson in the offseason. Let's see how they do. Wemby does make third-team All-NBA. This year, he averages 22.9, 11 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks, so pretty average from what we were expecting. The problem is, in spite of having Larry Johnson on the squad, the T-Wolves are a 7 seed. And there you go, the T-Wolves bomb out in round 1. Wemby's title defense is very unsuccessful. But the team that beat them did win a championship. San Antonio are your champions. All right, big news in year 17. Penny has left the Timberwolves. It's just Victor and Grandmama, so we'll see how it goes. Wemby makes second-team All-NBA yet again, and his numbers across the board are starting to slide. He's now playing less minutes, but he did average 23 points, 9.5 rebounds, 3.6 assists, 0.9 steals, and 1.6 blocks. Unfortunately, the bad news is that without Penny, Grandmama and Wemby can't make it to the playoffs. They don't even get a chance to try. And it may be a little early in our reality, but KG's Celtics come out on top over the Rockets. Bad news, Wemby fans, for the first time in probably a decade, he is not the top-rated player in 2K. But the T-Wolves did go out and make some moves in Wemby's contract year. Not only did they add Jason Kidd, but they added young Desmond Mason and Gerald Wallace. This team could be pretty fun. Even at 37 years old, Wemby is on third-team All-NBA. But as you can see here, the numbers are starting to take a big hit. Only 16.4 points per game this year. And Minnesota finds themselves as the 6th seed. They're going to have to go up against the Portland Trailblazers and MVP Tracy McGrady. And once again, even with J. Kidd in the rotation, the Timberwolves are out in the first round. And we get an 80s classic in the finals. Lakers-Celtics. Mike Bibby is your finals MVP? Okay, sure. It looks like Wemby signed a 1-year deal to stick around with the T-Wolves. We'll see if it works this time. 19 years into this, and Wemby is still an All-NBA player. He's hurt, but you gotta respect how good he's been. In fact, as you can see here, his numbers are actually up a little bit from last year, so maybe he's having a career resurgence? I guess it is a contract year. And the T-Wolves earn the 6th seed, which means they draw one of Wemby's oldest friends. Chris Webber is back in the building, and it is once again a first-round exit for Wemby. He's got to move on. And your finals MVP is Vin Baker. The Nets beat the Spurs. Let's look at these two teams. So they have Stojakovic, they have Elton Brand, and then the Nets have Vin Baker, who is 90 overall, Sean Marion, and Rashad Lewis. So an interesting combo there, but Nets are your champions, I guess. All right, I'll be honest. I was really hoping that somehow Wemby would get to play with LeBron, but this is almost as good, right? They added Peja, so there's a chance. Y'all, Mike Bibby won MVP. All right, look, Wemby is out for the playoffs, so they're not going to win anything, but he did make second-team All-NBA. All right, here you can see Wemby's numbers. As you can also see, this team has been pretty banged up all year. But here's the thing. I'm making an executive decision. We are in the era of having fun. Wemby has been in the league for 20 years. I'm not going to let him go out when he has a 2 seed. I'm going to heal his injury with magic and let him play the playoffs. With Wemby at full strength, the T-Wolves get by Alonzo Mourning's Rockets, but it ends up in disaster when they come up against this murderer's row. It's just too much. The T-Wolves are out of the playoffs. And that same Denver team are your champions. Allen Iverson, Finals MVP. 20 years in, and Wemby is now retired. I really thought he was going to play till 40. Let's go ahead and look at some of his accomplishments. Unsurprisingly, Wemby is in the Hall of Fame right alongside David Robinson, a person who was fighting tooth and nail for many awards throughout the year. We can look through all of his stuff, though. 22.7 points per game, 11.3 rebounds, so a walking double-double, 3.7 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. He won 1 MVP, made 18 All-Star games in 20 years. He only missed it twice. He won a Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time champion, 3-time Finals MVP, 3-time All-NBA First Team. Surprising. I mean, I guess it's not that surprising that D-Rob had more, since he also had 5 MVP awards. 8 All-NBA Second Team, 4 Third, 1 First Team Defense? Okay. 3 All Second Team Defense. He did not win Rookie of the Year, but he did make the Rookie First Team. And then here, really quickly, this is where things could get interesting, right? Because I do not know where he ranks among the all-time greats. So let's go ahead and go to career. Okay, here we go. We're in the career. So let's look through this stuff. Okay, now we don't, oh, look at this. Do you have any 50-point games? I know he had a couple. 3, nice, okay. All right, now here is where we're going to get it. Okay, games played. Second all-time, 3 games behind Isaiah Thomas in games played. He's still 92 overall. I can't believe he retired. He could still play. Okay, then blocks per game. So blocks per game, I don't remember what his average was. Why is he not on here? He should be here, right? He should be higher than 1.6. So this is messed up. Not everything's going to be perfect. That's okay. We don't really care about, let's just skip the per game stuff. Okay, here we go. Minutes. 4th in minutes. Look at Kareem. Jeez Louise, that man played so much basketball. Steals, no. Blocks. 2nd all-time in blocks behind Hakeem Olajuwon by about, what, 60, 70? Assists, he's not going to be there. Rebounds, 3rd all-time behind only Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. Of course, Wilt averaged like 22 rebounds a game, so you're probably never, that record's never being beaten, I don't think. Free throws, he's 8th all-time. 3-pointers, because we haven't hit the era, right? Like, Peja's just coming up. Ray Allen's just coming through. But Wemby, at his retirement in 2004, is 2nd all-time in 3-pointers made. Field goals made, he's 3rd. Total points. Here's the big one. Oh my God. Victor Wembanyama retires above Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. LeBron will have to chase someone else because Victor Wembanyama is the all-time leader in points scored. What a career. What a save. I'm sure it has been very long. Hopefully you've stuck through it the whole time. You probably haven't. Let's be honest. But let's go ahead. I'm going to get out of here, and I will see you all next time.